Hello everyone, my name is Shane Callahan and I chose to show you guys how to prepare a trial example. Um, this was the brief example number 11 in the textbook. And so what we're going to do is we're going to prepare a trial balance from the ledger balances below. Prepare a trial balance for Pete Company at June 30th, 2017. All account balances are normal. Cool. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make a trial balance sheet, which I did beforehand, but you can it's just some fancy tricks to make it look like this, but honestly you can just put put Pete Corporation, then trial balance June 30th, 2017, and then have it go like this, and then go to alignment, make them centered, like that. And then you can just go and follow along. Just put debit, credit right here, and then just put in the account balances as we go. So what you want to know about a trial balance, actually the most important thing you want to know about a trial balance is that it is separated between debit and credit. So certain account balances are booked under the debit column, and certain account balances are booked under the credit column. And at the end of the day, we want them to be equal. The amount that we receive for the debit column should be equal to the amount we receive in the credit column. And so you list the account balances in order from asset, liabilities, stockholders' equity, revenues, and expenses. And so the assets are put under debit, liabilities are under the credit side, stockholders' equity is put under the credit side, dividends are under the debit side, service revenue, or revenues I should say, are under the credit side, and then expenses are under the debit side. And so we want all those to match up at the end. So yeah, and so the way as we know, and from the previous chapters, we list our assets from, I guess, how fast you can turn those into cash. And so I already did all this. I already put everything in order, but the first one would be cash. And if we look over at our problem, cash is here, and it is $5,400. So we put that under the debit side. Accounts receivable is next, because that is the next easiest account balance to turn into cash. And accounts receivable is here, and it's worth $3,000. And then next you have equipment, which is worth $13,000. Boom. And so those are assets from the list of account balances here. And so the next account balance, or I guess section of the trial balance, is the liabilities. And so if we look, the only liability is accounts payable. So that's the only liability we have, and that's 1,000. The next section would be stockholders' equity, and that is common stock and retained earnings. And the only account balances from those two that we see are the common stock, which is worth $18,000. Next will be dividends, and that is put under the debit side, and that is worth $1,200. Next we see revenue, which we find what's under the revenue section, and we find that we have a service revenue that is worth $8,600. And that is it. So we move on to the expense section, which we look and we find two: salaries and wages expense and rent expense. And those are each, or salaries and wages expense is worth $4,000, and the rent expense is worth $1,000. So boom, at the end of the trial balance we should have matching debit and credit, which we do. The big disclaimer though for trial balances is that even though we have matching sides, we could have still made an error. So you could these errors include you might have missed an account on either side, which could level out the debit and credit to make them equal. You could have intentionally taken something out, or put an account balance in so that it would become equal. Different things like that. So I guess the big point is that trial balances are there to kind of help you see if the spending that the company is doing is going to be equal on both the debit and credit side. It's not an exact way to know if everything is correct, because everyone makes mistakes, and there will always be everyone's human, so they're not perfect, so there will be mistakes at some point. But it's a good way to see how the company is doing and how well they're handling their debit and credit from the account balances. I hope this helped. It was a lot of fun really preparing for this, and really helping teach everyone how to create a trial balance. Has really helped me learn how to do this and helped cement it in my mind. So yeah, I hope this helped. Thank you.